Okay, welcome, Mary. My name is Jeff. I thank you for coming in today. You feeling comfortable?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to be the counselor for this session. If you want, we've got some Kleenexes and some water if you're interested. So I'm just going to put that over here.
Okay, thank you.
So first thing I want to talk to is this is a safe space, so anything you say is just between you and I. All right. But if you talk about any violence to yourself or anyone else, I'm obligated to discuss that with the police. So do you understand that?
I do.
And so we've got a client acknowledgement form here that I sent you beforehand. So if you can just take a look and then sign at the bottom. Thanks very much. So tell me a little bit about yourself. We really haven't had a chance to talk. So tell me what it is that brought you in here today.
Well, my name is Meredith Gray, and I have a lot of problems at work right now.
Okay.
It's just very overwhelming.
So tell me a bit about what's going on.
Well, I'm a doctor. I'm in my first year of surgical residency, and it's very competitive to get in. It's very hard, and I keep dating my boss. And then we keep breaking up, and then we get back together, and then we keep breaking up, and it's just way too much. I'm not managing it at all.
Okay, that's perfect. I'm going to take some notes during the session. So if that's all right with you, all right. So these notes are just for my notes. No one else is going to see them. If you want at any point, you're allowed to request them, and I'll send them to you as well. Okay, so that's okay with you. All right. So you're a doctor. So congratulations on getting in. Like that's very hard to do.
Very
So,
hard to do,
yeah.
yeah.
And so you've got some issues. So you said you're not coping at work.
No, it's really competitive. I work like all day, every day. I'm totally sleep deprived, and there's just a lot of pressure.
Okay. So what do you think is the number one goal that you really wanted to address today?
I just need to be able to get through my internship and become a great surgeon. That's all I need to do.
Okay. So that's good. So that's something that we can work towards, you and I. So what are some of the things that have caused these issues at work? Like what has happened that has made these issues arise?
Well, my mom was a big time surgeon. She's very famous, and she has Alzheimer's, and she won't let me tell anybody. So I'm her only person. And there's a lot of pressure to go see her and keep up with her and keep managing like her finances and her estate. And then there's also balancing that with not telling anybody while I'm working like harder than I've ever had to work before.
So it sounds like a lot of pressure on you, not something that you wanted, an extra that you
Yeah,
wanted.
yeah. And I'm an only child. And my dad left us when I was quite young
All
and
right.
started another family.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So how do you think these extra duties or extra pressures on you are affecting you at work?
It's just really hard to keep up. I just feel like I'm constantly distracted and I can't focus on my job. And my job requires me to be learning this super hard skill. It's very competitive. People get kicked out every year.
So it sounds like that it took you a lot to get into this program in the first place. So what are some of the things that you do well? What has brought you to this point
Oh, well, I just
professionally?
stopped talking to my family altogether. So I just my dad left, and then my mom really doesn't, she's already done more than anybody has done. And so she was very arm's length. But now that I've moved back to Seattle, I have to deal with work and with her, whereas before it was just work
So
for
what
school.
yeah, and it sounds like you're trying to do your best, but it's a lot to deal with. So what are some of the things that make you a good doctor and make you a good resident?
Well, I listen pretty well. I work really hard. I prepare as best I can for the surgery that's coming. I try really hard to like compartmentalize. So when I'm at work, just at work. But there's just so much going on with her and her care, and she's has these brief moments where she's lucid, but I can't be there then because I'm at work. So it's just kind of a lot altogether.
So in a best case scenario, what are some of the expectations that you would have for what comes out of this session and for your career and for your family?
I just feel so much better talking to somebody about it right now.
Well, that's good. It's good. I'm glad that I could be here for you,
Yeah.
and I'll do my best to help you in any way I can.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know. I'm not sure how to fix it. It's just like so overwhelming, and I'm used to being more successful than I am right now.
Well, and we don't have to fix everything, especially in one session.
Yeah.
So, but what does success look like to you as a result? Not necessarily in your career, but from what we talk about today, what would success be to you?
I don't know. I'm only here because the hospital told me I had to get counseling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you might be able to get something out of this session, or?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, at least you're coming in with the right attitude.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would be your priority out of all the things that we've discussed today?
My boyfriend and I, we just keep like breaking up and getting back together and breaking up and getting back together. And he's also one of my bosses. So, that's like really hard.
Right.
I would just like to know why I can't stay in this relationship with him. Like, why we keep breaking up. Like, is there something wrong with me?
So in the times that things are going well with your boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
what is it that's going well? How would you describe that?
Oh, he's just so cute, and he's such a good doctor, and he's really kind, and he's a bit of a superstar, really. But
So there's a level of respect there.
yeah, but he keeps trying to like make us more of a couple, and I just can't handle that with work and with trying to keep my place in the program and with not telling anybody about my mom's Alzheimer's.
So how do you think what's going on with your mother is affecting you at work?
Well, everybody thinks she's amazing, and she has done all these like really good things. I mean, she was like a female pioneer in surgery. So I don't want anybody to know that she's not who she used to be.
You feel some level like you're protecting her?
Yeah, and it's at a high cost. Yeah. I just feel like torn into lots of different pieces.
So how much are you willing to make changes in your life right now? Like if you had to, do you feel locked into some of these extracurricular activities with your mother, and not even extracurricular, with your career?
Yeah, I don't really feel like I have a lot of time or energy right now, but I just feel like I'm not really my best.
Are you willing to make some changes in your life for your own good?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's try to brainstorm some ways that we can make some changes here. So you said you wanted to work as your number one concern. Mm-hmm. Your boyfriend is a very high concern. Mm-hmm. How are some ways that you can make that better right now?
Well, right now he's not my boyfriend again because he told me that I wasn't really ready to commit to him, and I had abandonment issues. I don't really know what that means. So, I mean, one option is just to stop dating him and just work.
Okay. Well, and I feel like that would put
But
some
I love
pressure
him.
on you because you're both in the same workplace, so it would become awkward.
But it's also difficult to date your boss
Yes.
when you're not allowed to do that.
So, between your career and your boyfriend, your career is your priority. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love him.
Do you feel like it would be possible to continue the career at the hospital if you guys were not together?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
he would be mature about it, you think?
Oh yeah, he would. I mean, yeah, I think so.
So I think there's probably a lot to that we would need to go through. So it wouldn't just be one session, of course. Are you willing to come back and discuss more about these issues? Would you be willing to talk to more of a therapist as well?
Yeah, because I think there might be something wrong with me that I can't be in this relationship with this great guy.
Well, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what you do well, not what you think.
No,
might
but
be.
I think there could be like maybe there's a problem, you know.
Okay, so you're willing to discuss those things with maybe a therapist or
Yeah.
a psychiatrist if
Yeah.
that's okay. Well, that's good to hear. Um, so, how do you think your boyfriend wants you to proceed? Does he
I
does
think-
he see does he see a problem? Or-
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you guys be willing to talk to maybe a couples counselor?
Well, I don't think my relationship with him is my top priority. Like now
Okay.
that you've kind of pointed that out as like different area. They kind of blur together
Right.
because
They're happening at the same time.
yeah,
in the
and
same
in the
place.
same place, and we know all the same people. But you know, I think I just need to maybe be on my own for a while so that I'm not so. I feel like I'm failing at all these different things. So maybe if I do one less thing, I'll
If you're
be more
taking on a lot.
successful.
So, and how does your mother fit into that situation?
Well, I mean, I'm her only family, so I have
Is there
to be-
any way to offload some of these responsibilities onto somebody else, maybe?
No, I'm her only family member. So like when there's a problem, they have to call me. They have to have some next of kin.
Right. Can you set those aside for a certain amount of time during a week or a day so it's not interfering with your career?
I don't know how to do that, but maybe I could set up a more regular visitation schedule so I see her like on one day.
And she must have doctors that she's in care of right now.
Yeah.
So are they not able to handle some of these things?
Yeah, but they want me there frequently to like visit with her to give her a higher quality of life.
Have you talked to her about some of the issues that you're having?
Oh yeah, but she thinks I'm like her girlfriend from 20 years ago. So she's not operating in the present
All
time.
right. Okay, so we've talked about what you think your priorities are. So, and we've talked a little bit about the goals. Your number one goal is to focus on your career right now. How do you think would be the best way to go about that? Is it just to solely focus on that and put the other things aside?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time talking about my boyfriend,
All right.
and I think that takes away from like being a surgeon.
You feel like it's a little counterproductive to what
Well,
you're
it's
trying
not
to-
helping me be a surgeon.
Okay. And so you're willing to talk to a therapist or a psychologist maybe to work through some of these things. And one of the other things, possibly to offload some of the issues with your mother to somebody else. If it's putting on too much pressure.
I just
on
don't
you.
see how I could though, because there's a need, like she's only present like lucid where she knows like what day and time it is for small parts of the day, and so they keep calling me to come visit in those windows of time.
Right.
But that conflicts with my work schedule. Like I work 18 hours a day, so I don't really know how to manage that.
Well, and if your career is your priority at some point, and we can talk about that with your therapist and your psychologist, but if your career is your priority, I think you're going to have to make that clear in this case.
Instead of just feeling bad all the time.
Yeah, I don't think that's helping the situation at all. Okay, so So let's come up with a plan for you. So right now we're going to focus on your career, number one. You're going to potentially see a therapist or a psychologist. We can talk about that after. Maybe I can refer you to somebody. So where do you think you are with your boyfriend right now?
Oh, it's just devastating because he's probably the love of my life, but I'm just not like emotionally available. Like he keeps wanting to like move in together and talk about building our dream house and I just can't. Like I just shut down.
Do you think some of these added pressures are affecting him as well?
Well, he's not learning to be a surgeon. He's already a world-class surgeon. So he's got pressures. But he's also, I found out after our first year together that he was actually married to somebody else and I was his de facto mistress. And then his wife came here and that's actually why we broke up again because he decided to try with her. But so now we're just like friends. But I love him.
Right. Okay. So there's definitely an issue there. So he can't really be your boyfriend if his wife is.
I know, but I love him.
I know. Here, take a Kleenex, please. I know it seems like you're going through quite a bit here. Do you need to take a couple of minutes?
I'm okay. I feel better holding your hand.
It's good to hear. So is the wife still in the picture? Are they ending things?
No, now they're getting divorced.
Okay. And what is your relationship with her?
Oh, well, she's I really don't want to like her, but she's fantastic.
Well, okay. So do you think you guys are civil when you talk to each other?
Well, yeah, because I have to work with her. She's also my boss.
Yeah. So it sounds like the boyfriend, the love triangle here is probably the root of the problem.
Yeah, it's really hard.
That's a lot of added pressure on top of learning to be a surgeon and furthering your career, which nobody else, your colleagues don't have to go through this.
No.
So it really.
Plus, my colleagues and my friends think I get special treatment because I dated the boss.
Right.
But I don't.
Okay. So it seems like, from what I'm hearing, the added pressure that's all of this is coming from the love triangle, which is a lot of extra things that you have to deal with that nobody else has to deal with. Mm-hmm. And how do you see that situation? Do you feel like that's negatively affecting you?
I do. It's very hard to keep focused and, I just don't have any downtime. Like I'm always working or worrying about my mom. And most of the time while I'm doing those things, I'm wondering and worrying about what could happen with Derek.
Right. So do you feel it might be beneficial to you to put that aside? If his wife is still here and it's negatively affecting your career, do you feel like that is something that you should deprioritize right now?
I have decided I'm just going to swear off men.
Okay, well that might be a little extreme.
Yes, no, they're not worth it. You've really helped me see that.
But it seems like if your career is your priority and this is negatively affecting your career, that might be something that you might want to put aside for now.
Yeah, you're right, because he's not even available.
Right, that seems like an Please grab yourself another Kleenex.
It's just so hard to talk about.
Well, it is. It's a lot to deal with,
Yeah.
and I think you're doing very well.
Thank you.
If you're able to manage a career as a surgeon while all of this is happening, I think you're very strong.
It's almost
you're very
like
capable.
a TV show.
It's almost they should probably make a show.
They
about
should
it.
make a show.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk a few more times about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you've unloaded a lot right now, and it's very emotional. It seems.
Yeah, very.
But what I'd like to do is I'd like to refer you to a therapist at some point. I think this is definitely something that you should be talking to a professional about, and I'm not a professional therapist.
Oh, okay.
But I'd definitely like to refer you to that.
Okay.
And I think setting priorities and goals is the number one thing that we can do here in this session.
Okay.
So what would be, so your number one goal is your career.
Yeah.
What is the plan we can do to address that? Without making any grand movements here, what are some incremental plans that we can do?
Well, I think I just need to stay single, to stop focusing on my love life and start focusing on work.
So if career is your number one goal, then that's a very reasonable first step. And you're open to talking to someone about the issues that you're seeing.
Yeah, well, I still love him.
I know, and I think there's some other things that need to be worked out there before you can re-enter that relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up another session for you and I.
Okay.
And at that point, I think I'll have a reference for a referral for a therapist.
Okay.
Okay. In the meantime, I think just focusing on your career in the meantime is the number one concern for us right now.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for me?
No.
Okay. Do you feel good about what we've talked about today?
Yeah, I feel really good. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank
You're
you.
really good at this.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming in. I think we're going to have a good relationship.
I think so too.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.